I'm Tony Soldano, lead pastor of All People's Church in Brampton, Ontario, Canada, and the executive director of the Leadership Center. Thank you for joining me this week on After the Fact. Well, as a young boy, I was born and raised in Toronto and always lived in what we call the Greater Toronto Area, multiple cities around the Toronto area that we call the GTA. And when I was a young man, Toronto was always known as Toronto the Good. I guess we compared it to American cities and thought, wow, we're much better than they. We have a heart, we have a soul. And so this label was given to the city, Toronto the Good. But in the last few years, this label has been dropped and it's been called sometimes Toronto the Not So Good. But this past week, we once again saw the heart and the soul of this great city. As Officer Ryan Russell was laid to rest, having been killed in the line of duty, some 12,000 people showed up at his funeral to pay tribute to this fallen officer and to give love and support to his widow and his young son who were left behind. People stopped as they came out of the subway and walked on the streets as large screens were put up so that people could see the funeral and the procession outside of the main Metro Convention Center. And once again, I thought, you know what? Toronto is Toronto the Good. Once again, the city showed its heart and showed its soul for this widow, and this young son, and for this family. Officers coming from all parts of the country to pay tribute to this hero. And so good for you, Toronto, that once again, you have shown the world you have a heart, you have a soul, you have compassion. Let's regain that label, Toronto the Good. I'm Tony Soldano. Thank you for joining me. This has been After the Fact.